You see him every morning on Today in Alabama, sitting in the studio. He even introduces me and my story in the field. Did you know WSFA 12 News anchor Judd Davis and I are married? We just celebrated our 11th anniversary. Both of us work in highly visible positions, and though it might be a little unusual that we work together and on the same shift, when we're not at work, we're not that different than any other couple. Today, we invite you for a chance to get to know who we are when the studio cameras are not rolling. I'm Bethany Davis, along with my husband, Judd, and this is about as real as it gets. I get asked, what time do I wake up every morning? And then after, what time do I go to bed at night? I think the next question I get most often from people is, what is it like to work with your husband? They obviously don't know you.
Yeah.
Do you get that question?
No? You know, some people don't even know we're married. They're like, wait, that's your wife?
I think, though, COVID actually changed that.
Yeah.
We actually...
The one person, the one emailer was really
we
upset
had some
with
people
me.
who were pretty mad
Yeah.
that you were coming to my dining room.
Why was it
so
your
we'll
dining
back
room?
up and spill. Yeah,
Why couldn't
let's
it have been mine?
back up and spell it out. So when COVID hit, they sent us home to work from home. We were broadcasting from our dining room. It was supposed to only be a couple of weeks. It was actually about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting pretty close, but it was our dining room.
Right. Yeah.
And people were pretty upset that we were telling everybody to distance themselves and to stay home,
Right.
but then they saw us sitting literally shoulder to shoulder. And
Yeah.
the one lady was pretty upset.
Yeah, when she asked why I wasn't wearing a mask, I said I was also sleeping next to her about an hour ago. So, I mean, you should have seen how close we were then.
Well, I've said this before. I feel like our house is pretty much constant conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really have a lot of quiet time
No.
at home.
Everyone can weave a tale.
Yeah.
When it's your turn, you better jump in there. You're going to miss your spot.
I will say this, though. I feel like it's a little quieter since Bailey, our oldest, she moved out she grew up, she bought a house.
Man, she
got
unloaded the
married.
dishwasher so well.
She did unload
She
the
was the best
dishwasher.
dishwasher unloader. I hate
But-
that so much.
Nobody likes to unload the
No.
dishwasher. I don't mind loading it up.
Yeah.
I just don't like unloading it. But I loved before she was still grown, she would go to work and she'd come home. And she'd come home about the same time I was cooking dinner every night. And she'd come in and she'd sit down. And I wouldn't have to say a word. I think for probably 30, 45 minutes at a time, she would just unload her entire day.
Yeah, her life.
While I cooked dinner. And those were just some of my favorite moments. Really.
She also enjoys an audience.
She also enjoys an audience. But
I'll never forget when one of her friends, something important happened. She said, all right, enough about talking about you. Let's talk about me now. Yeah, it was her friend specializing. All right, we've heard enough about you. Let's talk about me some.
But now
She gets it, honestly.
she does. But now she's moved out, and nobody talks to me while I'm cooking dinner anymore.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're usually on the couch.
Yeah.
He's usually outside.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just
Bubba's
me.
just laying down on the ground.
Bubba, yeah. He's always looking he's the best vacuum cleaner. He's
Yeah.
always looking for something
Yeah,
to clean
if you
up.
say, Bubba, come clean up, you got a partner in there.
Yes. He will watch me. He just doesn't talk back.
No, he doesn't.
I miss those. But we've got a lot of good talkers in the
Yeah.
family that keep us going. Honestly, I mean, we've said this before, our kids really do keep us going. We've got 5 between the two of us, and so eventually we know they might all grow up and leave the house.
Oh.
But in the meantime, we are pretty darn busy chasing them around.
Yeah, I guess when we run out of ball games to go to for our kids, there'll be grandkids by then
then we'll have
to go.
grandkids.
But yeah, I can't think
chase
of
around.
when we talk to our relatives about what we got going on this week. They're like, hey, your schedule makes me exhausted. But I don't think we'd feel comfortable not doing that. If we don't have a game to go to or a practice to go to or an event to go to or a party to go to, we can only sit around at home for maybe one day, those days are nice
Those
to
days
sit there
are
and do
nice.
nothing.
They are.
But then we're like, okay, what's going on tomorrow? We got something going on, right?
That actually happened a couple weeks ago. My sister texted and said, how's your weekend looking? And I kind of explained what we were doing each day of the weekend. And she said, your schedule is exhausting. And I said, well, this is an off weekend.
Yeah,
This
it
is an
is.
easy, relaxing
Yeah.
weekend.
When the sports start to overlap, And we got Hudson playing 2 and Josh doing 1. Then it gets fun. Yeah, almost every day something.
We have to.
Tuesday was our day in the fall. We had nothing. That was our one day.
Yeah.
We had football Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Baseball Thursday and Sunday. Football games Saturday. Baseball tournament Sunday. Tuesday was the day.
Tuesday was our day.
Yeah.
That's kind of shifted a little bit now. It's Wednesdays, but for the winter time anyway. It's nice to have at least one day where we
I
can
like those one days where you got nothing sometimes. Nice just chill at home for a little bit.
Kind of regroup.
Yeah.
What do we do if we're not chasing kids around? If we're not it's hard to tell people. People are always like, what are your hobbies? What do you do? I don't know what we do outside of work and chasing our kids around at their sporting events.
This venue right now would not be ready for it, but we come to the pool here a lot in the summertime.
That's true, in the summertime.
Or the lake or the beach. We like to do that. And I mean, during football season, every Saturday afternoon and evening, our house is the place where all the neighbors come in to watch football and have fun. We like to host people and have fun, have parties.
We do.
Yeah.
I do love that. I love that our house is the one that everybody knows they can just walk into. I mean, I think the kids, honestly, in the neighborhood for a long time they do just most of the time just walk on in. But even the adults in the neighborhood have kind of figured out how to just come on in, especially on game day.
Yeah.
I love that.
Every once in a while, they'll walk in and get more than they bargained for. Oh, poor old Luke next door walked in, and I was just walking around in my underwear, and I forgot that he was not one of our kids. And I could see him going like, bro's got no pants on over there. This is my house. Yeah. I did have my drawers on. I wasn't like buck naked, but
walk on in.
I mean, I could see him kind of look down like, hey, I'm going to go back home for a little bit until you get some pants on there, man.
Did you put any pants on?
I don't think so. It was so late. It was like 1 p.m. Yeah, in the afternoon. It's nap time.
Those are fun though. We've made some good memories. What would you say are some of our best memories?
Gosh, we had a lot of good ones. All of our beach trips when everybody could go was a lot of fun.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember just the coolers down on the beach all day long and all the kids running around. Just you and I, probably the best thing we've done was football related. When we got to go watch Auburn and Florida State play in Pasadena.
That was a great trip.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the Vegas trip. That was a good one too.
Well, and there's another one. When I made your birthday, I made that one year when we went to Nashville.
Yes, yeah.
We made Friday night about you, but then we went to the Alabama game the next day and then the Titans game the following day. But I didn't know about the Grand Ole Opry, and we went to Nashville. That was fun.
That was pretty fun. Well, let's back up and explain that just a little bit because I'm an Auburn girl. I was raised in Opelika, so I really didn't have a choice but to be Auburn. Some really great memories with some Auburn football games. You, on the other hand, are, I will say, very passionate about Alabama football. I think I'm putting that mildly.
Yeah. It has been said that Josh Johnson and myself together are a bad game day combination due to our volatile nature when poor performances happen.
It's been said because it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my parents both graduated from LSU, and you'd think for sure I would have been a Go Tigers, but Grandpa's an Alabama guy, and he lived in Luverne, so as a little kid I always just cheered for Alabama, whether I lived in Houston, Texas, or Gaithersburg, Maryland, or San Jose, California. I was always the one kid wearing the Bama stuff. And then when I played football in college, I had a chance to come to Alabama, and I toured the campus, and my grandfather was friends with Mal Moore, the late Mal Moore, who was the assistant athletic director. So we went on campus and toured the campus, and we got to the weight room. I looked around. I said, I'm about to die if I try to play against these guys. They were humongous and fast, and I knew my skill level wasn't quite up to par for that. So played somewhere else. But then when the job opened up in Montgomery, I was like, I would love to be back close to Alabama and get to see some Alabama football. And yeah, I'm up there as far as the top of the level as far as passionate fan members. There have been some remote controls that mysteriously stopped working.
Well, because they had a hole. The remote had a hole in it.
I didn't hold on to it tight enough when I was gesturing.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
What about the hole that stayed in the wall in the house?
That's a reminder to not lose to Clemson in California for the national championship game. That wasn't for me. That was for the team.
That was for the team.
Yeah.
Did we have any members of the team
Not yet.
come over?
Not yet.
Okay.
But if they did, I can see what I did for you guys. Put a little dent in the wall.
It was a hole.
It's a hole. It's a little
It was a
minor.
hole.
We patched it up with how time I had to sell the house.
We did. Okay, you did actually. Yeah. There's a real difference in cheering for your team and cheering against the other team. And I think that's a lesson that translates even beyond Auburn and Alabama.
Yeah.
But we've had to do some, as we've had some moments, post-game moments, days, weeks,
Yeah.
of not really talking very much. We've had to do our own kind of learning how to be at least better sports with each other.
Yeah. Well, you're a good sport, first of all, and you don't like to end the day or the game or anything on a bad note. So you're good about allowing, like, this guy's an idiot here, but I don't want to fight all day. So we're going to mend fences and make things better. Yeah, but he's still an idiot. But I mean, you're very good about that. I'm learning from you. I think one day I'll be better. Maybe.
We're going to put like a goal, like if we want to.
You said I got to live to be 100, so.
You have to live to be 100.
By the time
That's
I hit
what you
82, I'll probably tone it down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still got 31 years.
Yeah. But that's something I think our kids have picked up on too. I think they've learned how to be better, not just better at winning and losing, but even in the moment better at enjoying themselves in the moment without putting somebody else's enjoyment at risk. Yeah.
One of the things, when I was a kid, my dad always coached all my teams, and he was pretty strong about sportsmanship. Mm-hmm. And he, like me, did not like to lose, and it might be weeks before he got over it, but he also was like, if you lose, you go over and shake that person's hand. You don't walk by and slap their hand or put your head up in the air. You look them in the eye and say, good game, and realize you got to be a good sport. It's easy to be a good winner. It's not tough sometimes to be a loser and still respect the game and respect the other team. But I think our kids get that too, that I don't care how bad it hurts or how bad we lost or how important this was to you. First of all, it's just a game, which is easier said than done sometimes. But you got to you're representing not just the PR, the Pike Road on your hat, but also that last name on the back of your jersey, the Davis as well. Yeah. And these people are going to see you at the restaurant 2 nights later, and I don't want them to say there's a kid who didn't shake hands or threw his glove or spiked his helmet or threatened to burn his kid's clothes in the fire pit, something like that. If it weren't for Teresa, we probably wouldn't be married.
So this is true.
Yeah, she
Teresa comes every Friday
keep the house clean.
to clean the house, and I have actually said that on a regular basis. Yeah. I don't think were we married a whole month before I hired her? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. And I say she is the best thing I ever did for our marriage. Yeah. That's the truth. Nothing you do like bothers me, but I know that cleaning is not your favorite thing. It's not my thing. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. So it wasn't my favorite thing, and we found Teresa. Now we're good. I'll say, okay, and you know my background. It's not like I came from a household that was ever tidy, ever. So I felt like I was doing pretty good at keeping things together until you and I moved in together. Yeah. My father, his garage, first of all, I think his tools were lined up alphabetically. Everything had a drawer and a place, and the floor had that like little gray paint sealer on it, where I would literally could drop my dinner on the ground and continue to eat with my fork off. His garage was immaculate, and it had air conditioning, and he was like anal retentive. He was. And my mom was the carefree, like, okay, honey, whatever you want to do, put it here, put it. But he was super organized, and maybe part of his military background, military contract work, but I guess that trickled down to us because, Bailey's the same way. She's more than I am. She is. Yeah. She is. But you do like to keep things pretty organized and have things in order. As I've gotten older, the one thing I like is the kitchen and the living room, because if somebody comes over, I don't want it to look like a frat house. But the bedroom, I'm willing to give up on that. I mean, thank goodness. Yeah. Nobody comes to the bedroom. If we have to, we'll just pile up clothes on the dresser and whatever. But I do I'll rearrange stuff. I'm the thrower awayer. If you leave something on the counter for more than 2 days, I throw it away. 2 days. Listen, if you're still working on your drink and you've got about 4 sips left, but I'll either finish it for you. To the bathroom, it will not be there when you come back. But we've had little bags of goodie bags you've gotten from little things you've emceed that have literally sat on the counter for 2 years, and they're still there. I figured at some point. Eventually we're going to use some of that stuff. Somebody's going to need it. Maybe. Yeah. We might need it. Yeah. So I throw it away. You are a thrower. I am a thrower. I am not a thrower. No. Because I think at some point somebody might need that. But I mean, I think that's kind of what makes us work. We kind of balance each other out.
I do try to ask. I'm like, this looks like it could be something. Like, do you want this gold necklace, or should I chuck this? And you say, yeah, I plan on keeping that.
Well, if it's a necklace, let's keep it. Unless it's just torn up to pieces. Then yeah. But I do think that our differences, that kind of helps us balance each other, right? It provides a little bit of...
You got the laundry on lockdown. I don't mess with it because I'm not good about which one gets air dried.
Yeah.
And I take care of all the outside stuff. I found yard work somewhat therapeutic. It's weird, but I don't mind getting out there and mowing the lawn. It's not awesome when you mow in your bare feet and you step in the dog poop. Those parts aren't great, but that's my own fault for not wearing shoes. Trying to get my feet tan in the summertime. Got to look good.
Well,
the foot game's got to be strong.
Necessary,
because otherwise it looks just like this in the summer. Like, are you wearing socks? I mean, no, they never see the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind at all doing the yard work, and you don't seem to mind doing the laundry at all. You got a good system down.
Yeah,
but you hate folding socks.
Listen, I really don't mind. I will wash the clothes. I will fold the clothes. I don't really like putting the clothes away, but I'll handle everything for everybody but the socks.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about those socks and matching the socks, but it's a little overwhelming to me.
I don't mind the socks.
Okay.
When they're out there, I just see them. I just start going folding away.
I'll do my own socks. I'm not going to ask anybody else to do my socks, but I feel like everybody in the family at this point is old enough
to do their own socks.
To do socks.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. As you mentioned the bedroom, I really don't care much about putting the laundry away. It's kind of like unloading the dishwasher.
Yeah.
That's not the fun part.
It's not. The dishwasher does not dry Tupperware, and that really angers me.
I know.
You pull it out, and it's got like either it's flipped the other way and it's got an entire warm puddle of water, or the under seal area has got you. It's just, I mean, it's supposed to get hot enough there to dry those things off.
It is.
And it doesn't.
But so it's just a little extra work. That's all. It's just a little extra.
Yeah. A
little extra effort. Okay, so we've had some moments that were hard at the time that we can kind of look back and laugh about now. But we've had some pretty hard moments that we still don't really even laugh about.
Yeah.
What would you say were some of our toughest times?
Going through divorces, having kids, and realizing what a mess you made, and there's no do-over button. You realize that you've done some stuff that you really regretted, and through your own selfishness, you didn't really think about how many other people would hurt, especially the little ones, and then you can't undo that. Mm-hmm. And they've come a long ways. All four of those kids, Hetty was just, ours together, but don't blame them at all for the hurt feelings they had or the anger. I'll tell you this, I am pro-marriage, pro-stay together, fight for your marriage. And we've had friends who've had issues, and I'm always like, you do whatever you can to work it out for yourself and for the kids. And, that's probably the toughest thing I've been through in my life besides, losing family members.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting? I think I've said to many friends that I think divorce is it's really its own kind of hell. It's its own division of hell. For anybody, I've not known any one person who has gone through a divorce and been like, "Woohoo, that was great." Mm-hmm. But isn't it interesting how the two of us who have been through it, who I would say chose it for each of us, are now so darn set against it.
Yeah.
And we've fought pretty hard alongside some pretty close friends to keep it from happening to anybody else.
Yeah. I think in your mind, when you're going through something like that and you're thinking that divorce is the answer, you have this unrealistic expectation of how it's going to be after it happens. Like, all my friends are still going to like me, and all the kids are going to be on our side, and it's going to be great. Everyone's going to have somebody. Everyone's going to be fine. And you don't think about the in-laws and the aunts and uncles and the other kids and the kids' friends and the parties and the events where having both people there is now awkward. Yeah. And all the, so I had no idea. We call it like the ripple effects. I had no idea how far they would continue to spread and how many people end up getting hurt when there's a divorce on both sides of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so.
Ripple, that's a good word. The ripple effects. That's a good way to put it, because those are almost just like a ripple. It's almost unending. I mean, we're getting close to 15 years out from that. And I think we still feel some of those ripples sometimes. We still see where those effects are still there.
Yeah, I think the one thing that at least we can say is that after going through it, I can tell you a couple things that to me are very important that I wasn't very good at is, first of all, you want to have somebody you can just tell everything to, and they don't look at you mad or angry, upset. You can just say, hey, I'm going to unload this, and I really either screwed this up, or I think I messed this up, or you probably don't agree with this, but I can tell you. And also just to be that person's biggest cheerleader, which I don't think the first time around I was good enough at that, but I mean, it's easy to get beat up when you're out at work or out at the ballpark or wherever, but to know that home is a safe place where you got your people with you, you know?
You are really good. You're really good at both of those right now. You are, no question, my biggest cheerleader.
You're pretty easy to cheer for. I mean, yeah, you're a good person.
You put up with some things, and I mean, gosh, you made time. This is your nap time, by the way, and you made time to be
I put on some of my nicest gray sweats for this event.
You did. Yeah. You got all dressed up and skipped your nap.
Yeah. At least it's not just my underwear.
Well, at least you put on more than undies.
Luke would be proud.
Luke would be very proud.
Next door neighbor.
You are really good. You are a good cheerleader, and you are good at always making me feel really very supported and cheered on is a good way to put that. But number two, and I've said this to you before, never ever, about your safe place comment, never ever have I felt like I've been such a member of a partnership like I feel like we have.
Yeah.
There's just it is a safe place. It is a place where we unload on each other. I unload on you a good bit. But there's such a give and take I've never experienced it before like I experienced with you.
Yeah. And other times in the past where you're like, I really want to say this and unload and get off my chest, but also I don't want it to lead to like an evening of a fight or an argument. And then from past experience, I've learned the more of those you keep inside, the worse it gets, because the more anger you might get about something that really was not that big to begin with, but you continue just to, instead of just saying, hey, you know, when this happened, I didn't really like that, or, you know, could we try something different? And you don't say anything about it. And then all of a sudden, it's kind of mad to just all of a sudden ready to explode for really no good reason, just because you never communicated the way you should. It's funny, we're in the communication business, and oftentimes that's the biggest issue in everybody's life, is just being able to say, hey, you know, or when you have to come clean, say, you know, I really did something stupid here. I can't believe I did this, but here's what happened, and, you know, and you're always, well, we'll figure it out.
But you're pretty good about that. You're really easy to just say, hey, you know, this is, not that there's really anything that ever bothers me, but you're pretty good about taking whatever I dish out on you and handling it pretty well.
It's usually always warranted. I mean, you're pretty easy to get along with. So it's when you bring up something, first of all, I'm like, okay, she's really serious about this, because she rarely ever asks or says. So when you do, I'm like, okay, I need to get my act together.
What's the best relationship advice you've gotten?
As far as like friendships or like boyfriend, girlfriend?
Well, I think, you know, honestly, I think they kind of could go either way. Sometimes I think any relationship, you know, any relationship topic is.
I would say one of the things more and more of the years too is, and you mentioned this about first impressions and just kind of putting people in, judging them, that a lot of times somebody who you become great friends with, when you first crossed your path, you thought, I would never hang out with that person. That's not my type of person. I wouldn't, you know, that's just, we don't have much in common, but just being open and giving people a chance, and just
Probably
being a good friend.
About me at first, didn't you? You were never going to hang out with me.
No. We didn't even work the same shifts for a while, so you were always the night owl. Yeah. But yeah, I think just being open and giving people a chance, and we all when we see somebody in our mind, we have to form an opinion right away. I think that's just human nature. But what I think about this person, we have some friends here. I wouldn't mention their names, but I would tell you at San Marcos, I'm like, that person, and when they come, I'm leaving. They drive me crazy, or that person just annoys the heck out of me. And now the friends, they're friends. Respect them, and what I thought about them because of something I saw in like a 5-second window is nowhere near what they are as a real person. You just you judge people, and then you think, well, that was pretty shallow of me because this is a really, really good person,
That's a true story. That's something that I have really admired about you for a long time, is that you're very good at even admitting when you're wrong about somebody, to say, you know what, that's somebody that I didn't think I was going to like, and I actually turned out to think they were actually pretty cool.
Yeah, but I guess if you don't keep your eyes open and give them a chance, you'd never know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about how we've walked alongside some couple friends of ours and really fought alongside of some other marriages. What's the best marriage advice you feel like you've given or we've given?
Oh boy, I could speak for hours on the things I screwed up that I hope you don't. Never get yourself to a point in the relationship where you can justify in your mind doing something is okay. I mean, there's got to be a point in your relationship where you think this is going this way, and if I don't do something quick to get us back going this way, then this might not be able to get this back together. And just communication, it's so easy just to say, well, I don't want to talk about it, I'm not going to address it. And the longer you do that, the more it annoys you. And like we talked about before, just being the person's biggest fan. Never assume the worst in somebody. Always try to look for, even if they do something like, I don't know why this person did that or why she did that, but there's got to be a good reason. I'm going to ask about check on that. Just tell me why we did that, or what were you thinking when you did that? Because there's got to be a good reason. It's easy just to assume something negative about somebody, or they're doing this because they're like that, and sadly, most of the time they're not. And who knows what they have going on in their life. Yeah. Like I said, I would judge people who got divorced and say things that then people, of course, said about me. And I was like, I can't have hurt feelings because I was the same way. I think after you go through something like that, you realize that, first of all, I don't want you to go through that, what I went through, so I'm going to fight with you. And I'm not taking either side. I don't care who did what. But is there a way we can save this?
Yeah. I think we've believed for a long time that we're a really good example of what not to do. Mm-hmm. But as I was preparing for this conversation and thinking about some things we were going to talk about, I realized we got a lot of things right.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It took us a while to get here,
yeah.
But we get a lot of things right.
Yeah, I'm not sure we were supposed to be this lucky on the other side of all that, but nothing we take for granted, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Going into this, I thought, I hope I don't regret this. Well, the truth is, I have never regretted a single moment with Judd. Well, we are far from having it all figured out. Well, there's no question. We're committed to figuring it out together, having a whole lot of fun while we're at it. And that's what makes us real.